Hey, everybody, welcome into STL Sports Central presented by DraftKings. The crown is yours, and you are watching Domesticated Gamblers, your home for St. Louis sports gambling talk. I'm Eric Sontag, joined by Shawn Surwillo and Tito Ulrich. We are recording this show here on Friday, August 22nd, so we'll have bets for the Cardinals and Rays this weekend down in Tampa. St. Louis City SC on the road Saturday night at Vancouver. We'll have picks for that. And we're going to close out our NFL futures previews by talking division winners, conference winners, and the Super Bowl winner. We'll also have some college football bets for you with week 0 kicking off on Saturday. And then, of course, we'll have our best bets as I go for 6 winners in a row here. And those best bets are brought to you by Pretzel Boys. And if you want to win some free pretzels like the Godson did last week, all you got to do is take a few seconds right now and drop us a comment on this video with your best bet for the weekend. If you're the first person to comment and your bet hits, you win a $20 gift card from Pretzel Boys. Godson was on Manchester City -1 last week. He and I both cashed on Man City. So get those comments in for a chance to win a $20 gift card to Pretzel Boys. Also, a big announcement here, boys. Starting next week, you can watch Domesticated Gamblers live here on the STL Sports Central YouTube channel. It is time. Football season is just about underway. So we want to be talking gambling with you guys and interacting with you so we can have some fun and beat the books this season. So make a note of it. Starting next week, Wednesday, August 27th, our weekly show is going to be live here on the STL Sports Central YouTube channel every Wednesday night. We're going to shoot for about 9:30 p.m. every Wednesday. If there's a Cardinals game ending around that time, like there will be next week, we'll go on immediately after the Card Central post-game show. So stay up late with us, man. Let's talk some gambling and really become part of the show. Like, for real, we want this to be your show where we're talking with you and not just at you. So get in the comments. We'll be happy to read them and discuss. So we'll be giving out picks for Thursday night football every week, along with the weekend games for college and the NFL. Of course, we'll still be covering all of our St. Louis area teams from a gambling perspective as well. So hit the like button while you're here. Subscribe to the STL Sports Central YouTube channel. Smash that like button. Yeah. And I think turn on notifications so you don't miss any of the great content here on STL Sports Central, including, again, our live shows at Domesticated Gamblers every week starting this Wednesday. So, Shawn, welcome back, brother. Good to see your face. How we feeling this week?
We're feeling good. We got football myself here. I'm coaching the little Jaguars, the junior Jags, and boy, it's a lot. It's been a lot. We're dealing with a lot, but things are going good, and we're heading into our first scrimmage this Saturday. So tomorrow, about 2 p.m., we'll be taking on Fox and Northwest. And so, head coach here his anxiety level's at 100 until I see how this team tackles, blocks, runs the ball, catches the ball live. My anxiety level is going to be at 100 till we're out there and we perform. But as all the great coaches say, we're going to take it one play at a time. The other team on the other sideline's got a bunch of talent, so we're just going to take it one play at a time.
Tito, I know you're probably coaching your kids this weekend. What's going on in the Ulrich household?
Yeah, I'm knee deep in youth sports, and don't take it from this broad, folks. Tito's the GOAT of youth sports coaching, okay? And you don't need to be freaking out. You don't need to be nervous about some youth sports league. None of that nonsense. If you prepare the right way as a coach, it has nothing to do with the youth of playing the sports, okay? It's all about the coaching. So Tito's the absolute GOAT of coaching. I got like 8 different games this weekend. I got a soccer game tonight. I got a soccer game tomorrow. I got another soccer game on Sunday. I got volleyball on Sunday. And you don't see Tito sweating. Tito's not sweating. I'm enjoying life. It's going to be a great weekend of youth sports. So come on out, see Tito in action. Watch the GOAT of youth sports coaches.
I'd like to coach against you. I got a story here for you, Tito. Speaking of, it's all about the coaching. A couple days ago, we had we scrimmaged blue versus gold, and we have a hillside where all the parents sit up on the hillside and they watch practice. So we run Jag 4. We open up the 4-hole. I mean, you could have ran a semi truck through it. SJ runs a run, 45-yard run down the middle of the field, and the sideline screaming. So we come home, and I thought it was my wife, Ashley. And I said, hey, babe, listen, I'm the head coach. You can't really be screaming, because the other side of the team is our team. So we got to, at scrimmage, we can't really be cheering on one kid or the other, keep a team. So I kind of gave her the lecture. Well, anyway, she told the moms, and at practice, they were like, well, I guess if he doesn't want us to cheer, then we'll just say, go coaching. So it's all about the coaching, right, Tito? It's all about the coaching.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good stuff. I like that. It's all about the coaching. Yeah. And obviously people, if you don't know my personality, I'm totally being facetious to a degree, so, don't take Tito very seriously when he says go to coaching, or coaching is all that matters with youth sports. But, kudos for us being involved in our kids' life.
Right.
All the dads and moms out there that get your kids signed up for sports or any activities. This is a sports show, so we're going to highlight sports, but getting your kids out there participating, being part of a team, that camaraderie that builds character and builds lifelong memories for all these youngsters. So I love coaching, love being a part of it, love hearing stories from Mr. Sharp. Eric, love hearing stories about your daughter in gymnastics and swimming and all that fun stuff. So it's really cool stuff.
Yeah, big weekend of youth sports, big weekend of college football starting this weekend. I'm super pumped for that. So let's get going here on the show on Domesticated Gamblers. And our show today is brought to you by James Carlton with State Farm Insurance. And I'm telling you right now, if you're looking to save some money, I highly recommend you get a quote from James Carlton and consider making the switch to him as your agent. That's what Tito did. That's what I did. And I'm saving over $800 this year with James Carlton as my agent. And it's not just about the money you save, it's about the service you get. And if you've ever had a bad experience filing a claim with an insurance agent, you know what I'm talking about. James Carlton has 448 five-star reviews on Google. And here's one that was just posted a couple weeks ago. It says, I've enjoyed years of absolutely stellar service from James Carlton State Farm office, consistently kind, responsive, and willing to work with you no matter their situation. The team delivers true white glove treatment, and they take the time to explain everything clearly and make sure you feel confident every step of the way. You'll never feel rushed or pressured, and you can trust that they have your best interests at heart. It's rare to find a team this professional, approachable, and honest. They have earned my trust, and I couldn't ask for a better insurance experience. I mean, how about that recommendation for someone taking the time to write all that? So just take a few minutes and get a quote. It is super easy. They do pretty much all the work for you once you reach out. I just, for real, cannot recommend James Carlton enough. When you get that quote, mention Domesticated Gamblers or STL Sports Central, and they'll make a donation on your behalf to Mizzou's NIL fund. The phone number is 314-961-4800, or go to carltoninsurance.net. If your insurance costs a leg and an arm, call James Carlton, State Farm. And guys, let's get started with the Cardinals as I get my screen situated here with a little delay. And they're in Tampa this weekend to take on the Rays. Redbirds took the series opener last night. Good game. Offense is looking good. Game 2 is tonight here on Friday. Off day tomorrow because of a conflict with the Buccaneers game going on right across the street. That's a big woof, Tito. Not a big fan of that. And then they're going to wrap up the series on Sunday. Cardinals can get back to the 500 mark tonight as they continue their quest, Shawn, to cash this over 75.5 wins for us. So hopefully they're going to get that done for us, and hopefully some of you out there on that ticket as well. 64-65 is the record. So we just need 12 more wins, and we got 33 games to go. So feeling pretty good. It's not a lock yet, but feeling pretty good. Cardinals still actually just 4 games out of a playoff spot. But like, get a few games over 500 first, then maybe I will entertain that notion. Okay. So I don't want to be hearing playoff talk yet. Rays have lost 4 in a row. They've been terrible for a couple months now. They were 11 games over 500. That's right, Mr. Sharp. They were 47-36 on June 28th. Since then, they are 14-31. And Mr. Sharp, you were right on that. I owe you lunch because you saved me money betting on the Rays to make the playoffs and maybe win the division. They had a bunch of games in Tampa early on in the season because like MLB front loaded their home schedule because of the weather in Tampa in the summer. So they've been on the road a bunch the last couple months, and their season is just falling apart. So kudos to you, Mr. Sharp, on that. And I'll let you go here first on this series. Tonight here on Friday, it's Miles Mikolas up against Adrian Hauser. And Sunday, it's a revenge game. Matthew Liberatore facing his old organization. It's going to be Ryan Pepio for the Rays. Odds here on Friday, Tampa's a pretty good favorite, -144. Cardinals a +118 dog. Total is set at 9. The over and the under are now both at -110 as we record here. So, Shawn, get us started here. What do you got here on Cardinals and Rays?
Yeah, when I'm looking at this, I like the over tonight. It's warm. It's down in Tampa. It's going to be humid. Miles Mikolas likes to get the ball up. Adrian Hauser, 2.67 ERA this season. This guy's pitching his butt off. But we know Adrian Hauser, he's pulling a little Houdini move right now. So I would expect a little regression from him as the second half goes on as well. So I'm looking for the over tonight. I think the Birds they'll probably win one of the next two. I don't think they sweep this series. This is a 500 ball club. It's good to see McGreevy taking a step forward, but I'm going to keep this one short. I know we got a lot to get into today, so Redbird talk. I like the over tonight, and I do like Matthew Liberatore in the revenge game Sunday. I would look to bet him as Pepio has been struggling at home this year.
Tito, you agree, or what you got here?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to ride with Mr. Sharp. He's been spot on the last several weeks about a lot of his different comments. So I'm going to ride with him and take the over on this one. I saw your article this morning on STL Sports Central talking about how Miles Mikolas has been terrible on the road. So I definitely think the over is the play here. And what a big woof. I'm not going to get on I know we got a lot to get to too. So I have a lot to say about the fucking Cardinals, but I'm going to bite my tongue.
Total agreement for me. We got to get this all in pocket. It's already in pocket for me. I think the total's a half run too low. I think it should be 9.5. So I'm on the over 9. Again, it's currently priced at -110. I looked back. We talked about this earlier in the year, Shawn. You said when in this minor league ballpark, when it gets hot, this ball is going to start flying. There were actually a lot of unders early on in the season for the Rays, but since June 1st, there have been 28 games at this ballpark. There's been an average of over 10 runs per game during that stretch. Yeah, the numbers for Mikolas, 12 starts on the road this season. Yeah, go ahead.
You've been to Tampa in April and May, and you get on the golf course and you got a 30-mile-an-hour wind coming off the beach or coming off the ocean. So early in the season, it makes sense that the ball's not carrying out. But as it gets hot in the summer down there, the ball's just going to fly out. So keep taking advantage of them overs, Eric. Keep taking advantage. Everybody, keep taking advantage.
Yep.
These are the advantages you have to have as a gambler.
Yep, and I think we got the right pitching matchup for an over tonight too. Yeah, Mikolas's road stats: 12 starts this season, 6.47 ERA in his last 4 starts on the road. It's been not pretty good, Tito. 12.70 ERA in his last 4 road starts. All right, and this has been bad. Hauser, you're right, Shawn. There was some Houdini stuff going on with the White Sox. Career ERA is over 4. His ERA at the deadline was 2.10. He gets traded to Tampa, and the regression monster has come. 3 starts with the Rays. His ERA is 5.17. The WHIP is 1.60. This is also, I found it interesting, his first start in this ballpark since coming over. So I think he's in for a rude awakening tonight. Cardinals are swinging the bats well. 36 runs over the last 6 games. And it's not like they had one huge game that spiked that total. It's been pretty consistent. 7 runs here, 8 runs here. So, yeah, I totally agree with you guys. This is in pocket for me, over 9 at -113. Sunday, probably a pass for me. Just Liberatore, I think he's on fumes right now. But I think he's going to be fired up on Sunday. So, hopefully he can pitch well. Pepio, he's talented, but he's kind of just been blah this season. So, probably pass. I do agree, Shawn. They'll probably split these 2 games. Well, let's move on to talk a little bit more baseball and talk other bets you can make this weekend. And a great place to get some of that action is with DraftKings Pick 6. So download the Pick 6 app from DraftKings. It is a lot of fun, super easy. All you got to do is pick 2 or more players and choose if they'll have more or less of a stat. So for Friday, I would be targeting Bobby Witt Jr. He is facing Casey Mize of the Tigers. Bobby Witt Jr. is hitting .429 with 2 home runs and 14 at-bats against Mize in his career. He's also red hot right now, hitting .370 over the last 2 weeks with an OPS just under 1,000. So love Bobby Witt Jr. tonight. I'd take him to have 2 or more total bases. And if you want to be brave, I actually think it makes sense to fade Aaron Judge here on Friday. He's cold right now, hitting 218 over the last month. And in his career against his opponent tonight, Brian Bayo, Judge has just 2 hits in 17 at-bats with 7 strikeouts. So I would take a stab on unders on Judge props. Those are my recommendations tonight for DraftKings Pick 6. It is available right here in Missouri. So don't miss out on the fun and don't settle for a smaller payout. Switch to Pick 6, and right now, new customers can get $25 in bonus picks with their first deposit of $5. So download the DraftKings Pick 6 app now and use code STL Sports. That's code STL Sports for new customers to get $25 in bonus picks with their first deposit of $5. Better payouts, bigger wins, only with Pick 6 from DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org in Connecticut. Must be 18 and over. Age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Pick 6 not available everywhere, including New York and Ontario. Void where prohibited. 1 per new customer. Bonus awarded as non-withdrawable Pick 6 credits that expire in 14 days. Limited time offer. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos.
All right, guys, let's talk St. Louis City SC. God, that was a frustrating game last week in Chicago. They come from 1 goal down, take a 2-1 lead. But, Tito, this team is just like incapable of holding a lead and holding teams down late. Chicago scores a couple goals in the last 25 minutes or so. City loses 3-2. End up pushing on that City +1 bet that I really liked, so no harm done. And we got a similar situation here tomorrow against Vancouver. City goes on the road as a pretty heavy underdog. Vancouver's -230 on the money line. It's about as high a line as I think I've seen all season with City games. City's +475 to win the game. Draw set at +370. The total is 3. The over's juiced all the way up at -155. So, Tito, frustrating game last weekend. Where are you going here tomorrow?
Yeah, I think I'm going to be going with Vancouver in this matchup. I think City's kind of all the win was taken out of their sails last week in Chicago. They transferred Zandy Silva out. Micaiah Joyner, I think, will have a lot of playing time. They're going to go younger here, so I definitely think Vancouver is going to will take advantage, and I'll go with the Whitecaps in this matchup tomorrow night and lay the juice.
So you would lay -230 on the money line. That'd be a decent spot for you to take it, you think?
Yeah, I think so, especially with the fact that you can't, when you have caretaking managers and you have sporting directors that don't start a guy you're paying like $8 or $9 million a year, one good start and then you don't start him the next game. What a big woof.
Shawn, I don't recommend taking -230 a lot of times. I think we got to find another way in.
We're not going to be profitable a lot of times if we bet -230 bets. The only way we could look at this is Vancouver -1, laying -140.
Yep.
That'd be the only way we'd look at it. I'm not a big soccer guy, even though the time I went, City looked like a World Cup champion. So maybe Mr. Sharp needs to get in the stands more. I don't know. When you look at Vancouver, this team they really score the ball. They really stop scoring the ball. They have a lot of assists. They're 7th overall in MLS in goals for, and they're 3rd goals against. So this team really is a pretty good team.
They really score the ball. Great analysis there, Mr. Sharp.
You like that one? I would take Vancouver -1 here at the -140. I'm sure Eric's going to give us a little parlay here, but I'm going to keep it simple at -1.
That is the exact play I have picked out. I think you're on the right track there. You got a few numbers there. Yeah, Vancouver, they do score a lot and they don't concede a lot. And sometimes it's just kind of that simple. It's the same situation as last week. I see the spread of 1. I ask myself, what's more likely? Does a team that's favored win by 2, or does the game end in a draw? And last week I thought it was much more likely we get a draw. I think I was probably more on the right side of that, even though I ended up with the push. But I think this one is much more likely Vancouver wins this game going away. So I've already bet this Vancouver -1. I'm okay laying the -140 here. I would not go higher than that because this line is on the move. It was -115 yesterday, and it's getting steamed up. So to me, this is pretty simple. I think Vancouver is going to score at least twice because City has not kept a clean sheet. The streak is now up to 17 straight games. They've conceded, and it's an I don't think it's really his fault. He has been fine, but in that 17-game stretch, City's given up an average of 2.24 goals per game. And I'm just not sure City can score. Like, Vancouver's really good defensively. Only one team in MLS has given up fewer goals than they have this season. Tito, that team, by the way, is the Philadelphia Union, who's managed by Bradley Carnell. So maybe this dude actually does know about playing defense, and it wasn't his problem. So I just think this is probably going to be a blowout here. I'm thinking like 3-0, maybe 3-1, something like that. And again, like, even if City keeps this close and they only lose by one, we get a push. So City has to get a result here in order for me and Sean to lose money on this bet. And I just don't see that happening. So City, it's an 8-game losing streak on the road. This does not seem like the team where that's going to come to an end. So Vancouver -1, -140 on DraftKings. I think that's still a good bet, but I would not go any higher than that. Would you agree, Sean? When you're laying a single game bet like that, and you keep seeing that movement, if this gets close to like -150, stay away at that point.
Yeah, unless it's a bet that you absolutely love, and you're not worried about that juice. But yeah, typically 140, 150, maybe. That's if you know your Vancouver team very well. I don't know much about MLS, so for me, but if I was a football lean and or a love play for me that I loved, yeah, then I would lay 150 for sure if I loved it.
Yep. It's not always about the play you like. We don't always play teams, we play numbers. I think
Yeah.
that's important for people to remember. You might really have a strong opinion on the game, but if the line is not providing value in your opinion, it's okay to stay away. So, lots of value to talk about here with the NFL as we talked a little bit more about futures. Again, Domesticated Gamblers is going to be your home for football betting talk all season long here on STL Sports Central. And again, make sure to join us live here on the YouTube channel every Wednesday night starting next week as we preview the football slate for the weekend and give our picks. And we definitely want to hear your picks as well in the chat. But for today, we're going to close out our NFL season previews by talking division winners, conference winners, and the Super Bowl winner. And let's start with the divisions. And let's start with the AFC East with your biggest favorite here in the divisions, and that is the Buffalo Bills at -330. Patriots next up at +475. So, Sean, I'll let you kick us off here with NFL being your specialty. I know you're not laying -330 on the Bills to win a division, but do you see any value anywhere else with any of the other teams?
Yeah, I don't see much value. I think this is Buffalo's division unless something bad happens to Josh Allen. If you do like Buffalo here, I would sprinkle a parlay in with the AFC East winner, Buffalo, and then a team that you like in a different division. You can parlay that like a San Francisco, get plus money. So then that parlay looks pretty good. I would not personally lay 330 on Buffalo because let's say Josh Allen tears his ACL in week 1. They're probably not going to win the division. So, I couldn't lay 330 on this one. No way. If you want to sprinkle it on New England, I could maybe see that with Drake May. I don't know. I just don't see them overtaking Buffalo. This is Buffalo's division right now, but Vegas has it priced way too high.
Yeah, I like the thought they're parlaying it using Buffalo as a parlay piece. The next highest odds for a division winner is Philly at -140. If you put the Bills and the Eagles together to win their division, that parlay is priced at +123. So I think that could be a good way to approach it. Like your angle there. Tito, what do you think on this on the AFC East?
Yeah, I'm more of a lottery ticket play on this one. I told you earlier on, I like Miami. I think Miami can really sneak up on people. And if Josh Allen does get hurt, like Mr. Sharp, kind of alluded to earlier, I definitely think I'm not sold on Drake May or Mike Vrabel there in New England. So I'm a big fan of Mike McDaniel, and let's see the Dolphins, surprise some people.
Dolphins have the worst defense in football, buddy.
But Mike McDaniel's a pretty good defensive coach, isn't he? Or is he an offensive mind? I'm not even sure who I'm not even sure if he's an offensive. I know he's one sort of mind, so that's why I like him. I like Tua. I think they got Tyreek Hill still. So I'm a big old fan of them.
I like Mike McDaniel. He's swaggy, man. He kind of used to look like a nerd back in the day, and he went to Miami, and he's just like, he
pulls the pants up, and he's showing the ankle. No, come on, guy. Be professional, guy. Come on.
I think he's a good looking dude. I like his vibe. I bet the ladies like him
Yeah.
too. I
Yeah.
think he might get whacked after the season though. I think that's the problem though.
Oh, I
he
think he
kinda-
might get whacked in season. This is going to
yeah.
be a bad team.
Yep. I think I know I bet the under 7.5 on the Dolphins. Sean, is that in pocket for you? I can't remember.
Correct.
Yeah. I mean, Tito, like if Tua stays healthy, like they're gonna be decent. Like they've been a playoff team in the past when Tua's been healthy all year. But God, I hope that dude can keep his head on his shoulders literally this season. AFC
Yeah,
North.
offense doesn't win you the games. You got to have defense, and this is going to be one of the worst defenses in football.
All right, AFC North. Ravens actually misspoke. The Ravens are a higher favorite than the Eagles to win their division. Ravens priced up at -170. You got two very frisky teams right behind with the Bengals at +280, Steelers at +500. Tito, you got to play here.
Yeah, we all know where Mr. Sharp's going with this ludicrous play, but I love Cincinnati. I like that Joe Burrow swag, especially with that plus money. So I definitely think Joe Burrow is going to have a chip on his shoulder. They're going to get to the playoffs again and and reclaim the division. So I would go with the Bengals with this play.
Yeah, I actually like the Bengals and Pittsburgh here. I would sprinkle a little bit of money on both of these teams, and I would lay off Baltimore. I think Cincinnati and Pittsburgh could win this division this year. Definitely could see that. So I would sprinkle maybe a half a unit on Pittsburgh and 1 unit on Cincinnati.
I almost had the same exact thought. I was thinking a half unit on each. I just think last year we talked about it. It was a ceiling season for Lamar. Like he could not have played any better. Still didn't win the MVP somehow. But that was a ceiling season for them. And I just think you got Pittsburgh on the ascend. Cincinnati had a lot of things go against them last year. I think they're going to bounce back this year. And the Steelers, the more I look at them, I really like their schedule. I've loaded up. I think I have 3 units on them to go over their 8.5 win total. So I think they go 4-2 in the division. Sweep the Browns, split with the Bengals and Ravens. They have a ton of winnable games on their schedule. I got them having wins at the Jets, home against Seattle, home against the Colts, at the Bears. They get the Dolphins at home in mid-December, and the Dolphins can never win when it's cold outside. They have other winnable games in that schedule. Patriots, Vikings, and Chargers. They do play the Packers and Bills, but both those games are in Pittsburgh.
You think Aaron Rodgers is going to lose to Green Bay? Heck no.
Oh, yeah, especially in Pittsburgh.
Revenge game.
The more it's a revenge game to about as big as you can have. The more I look at this, I think the Steelers can win 11 games. And I think that might be good enough in this division to win it as these teams kind of beat each other up. So I definitely think worth a sprinkle on the Steelers at +500, but agree with you as well, Tito. I think sprinkle the Bengals as well. Taking the juice on the Ravens, not the way to play this.
No, the Bengals, though, they still have this problem with Trey Hendrickson. I don't think he's still signed. And this is an issue. Cincinnati, it's kind of like Dallas, Figure this thing out, man. This is always every year with the drama. Last year was with Jamar Chase, and now it's Hendrickson. Like, if you're trying to chase a Super Bowl, stop having all this damn drama in training camp. It just does no good for team chemistry. It really doesn't.
Yeah, I agree with you. AFC South, the Texans, a +105 favorite. Jacksonville's at +300. The Colts at +370. Titans at +650. I can't believe I'm doing this. I'm talking myself into Duval.
Yes.
I've gotten there with Liam Cohen, and maybe I'm going to just have egg on my face once I actually see this guy on the sidelines. I see this goofball out there and be like, what am I doing investing in him? But I'm out on the Texans. The more I read about them, the more I look at that roster. I think it's a team that's in decline. I just don't think they're going to get it done. I think the Jags are the next most likely team to get it done. Like Liam Cohen worked magic with Baker Mayfield. I think he can do the same with Trevor Lawrence. Brian Thomas Jr. is incredible. I like their backfield too. They really got 3 backs there that I think that in ETN and Tank Bigsby, and they had this other guy, Tootin, I believe, that I just think they have a lot of talent there. And I believe in Liam Cohen as an offensive mind. Jury's out on whether he can be a leader of men, Tito, but I think at +300, it's worth the sprinkle. And God, I really hope I'm not regretting this when I see Liam Cohen on the sidelines in week 1. I'm guessing you disagree with me on this, Tito.
Yeah, totally disagree. What did Mr. Sharp just talk about in regards to the AFC East? The Dolphins don't have a good defense. I don't give a crap how great of a mind Liam Cohen is. If they don't have a good defense, and when you have a coach like D'Amico Ryan who stresses running the football, playing good, solid defense, I think that's the right play here. I think that's a smart play. It's the obvious play. When you talk about the Texans being on the decline, I have no idea what you're talking about. They have a young rookie quarter. They have a young quarterback. They only made the playoffs last year. That was it on D'Amico Ryan's first year, and that's it. So I don't know what you're talking about being on the decline already. When you have C.J. Stroud at quarterback, and then you bring in who's the guy that they brought in from the Browns. I forget his name. The guy that always got hurt.
Nick Chubb.
Yeah, Nick Chubb. Exactly. So I think that's a good 1-2 punch in the backfield with him and Joe Mixon.
Mixon's hurt.
Mixon's hurt,
yeah,
brother.
but it's a good 1-2 punch in regards to having Chubb as a backup. And when Mixon comes back, he'll spell Chubb, and there'll be a good bounce. They'll be able to bounce each other off. They'll be able to, do that. Whatever the thunder and lightning nonsense that everyone talks about. But give me the Houston Texans all day in this division.
I believe it's D'Amico Ryan's third year. I think last year was his second year in the league. I believe C.J. Stroud was drafted 2 years ago. Correct?
You are correct. I just looked it up. They made the playoffs 2 years in a row under D'Amico Ryans. Yeah.
Yeah, and I do think they're on the decline a little bit, Tito. I do agree with Eric. Nick Chubb is a washed-up version of Nick Chubb. He had a horrific injury to his knee. It's not his fault. He's just not the same player. I like the Indianapolis Colts. I talked about this a few weeks ago. If Daniel Jones was a starter, I really like the Indianapolis Colts. Anthony Richardson is not a leader of men. You cannot say to a group of grown men, I was tired. All these men are out there playing football, giving it everything they got, and you were tired as the quarterback. That was the end of this guy's career in Indianapolis. I don't care what anyone says. He's out the door. Daniel Jones, I think this offense is kind of built for him. And if we've all been to Indy, that place is tough. It's tough to go into Indianapolis and win a football game. So Indy usually wins 6 out of 6 or 7 games at home. I like Indy here. I would throw a half a unit on Indy, and I would throw a half a unit on Jacksonville.
Man, yeah, I just think Houston, though, at plus money, Tito, the fact they're plus money, I don't hate it. I just feel like Mixon, it's this weird injury. I feel like it's a lingering foot ankle thing. There's just not been a lot of details about it from what I've seen.
I wouldn't see that Houston winning this division 3 years in a row. I just wouldn't see it. Or did they won the wild card his first year, I believe, actually, didn't they? Yeah.
I just know if they make the playoffs, they'll be the Saturday afternoon game, always the first game of the playoffs, with some crappy announcers, and they'll get eliminated, and we'll move on with the rest of our lives. Speaking of a team that will not get eliminated in the playoffs, the Kansas City Chiefs are the favorite in the AFC West. They have won this division 9 years in a row. The price is at minus 115. I know we all agree on this. The Chiefs. This is all. I have a 2-unit play on this. I just feel like I know the Broncos have all this buzz. I know the Chargers can be frisky, but I don't believe in the Broncos and the Chiefs. If they've won it 9 years in a row, I will pay the minus 115 price to see them get knocked off in this division. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, this is a 4-unit play for me. Kansas City. Until you beat Mahomes, it's just like Brady, right? Until you beat him, why would you bet against him right now at this point?
Tito, agree?
What a big wolf. No, I'm not even talking about it. Let's just move on. Not talking about it.
NFC
fuck
East.
Mahomes. Fuck the Kansas City Chiefs. Fuck Andy Reid. What a bunch of frauds that team is. What a bunch of fraud that owner is. I can't stand them.
Oh, the spark got lit. Tito had a little explosion there. We'll bring it back down. We'll talk Philadelphia Eagles, the minus 140 favorite in the NFC East. Commanders next up at plus 220. Dallas is at plus 650. The Giants have actually moved up after their preseason performance. They were 20-1 yesterday. They're 18-1 here today. Mr. Sharp, what do you got here in the NFC East?
One thing on the New York Giants, they're going to be a good team to bet on the spread with. That defense is legit. Jackson Dart's looking pretty good. You got Russell Wilson who can kind of lead them for a few weeks until Jackson Dart maybe becomes a starter. You also have Jameis Winston in there giving the inspirational speeches. So as far as the number goes, when we're betting week to week, we're going to look at the Giants because they're going to be getting a lot of, probably some good numbers throughout the season. When we look at this division, boy, it's tough. I like Washington, but I think Scary Terry still isn't back at camp. That's the last I heard. So without Scary Terry, I don't think Washington can win this division because they really have no other number one. So it would be the Eagles for me. I don't love it at minus 140, but it's not the worst price. So if I had to bet it, I would bet a unit on the Eagles, and then I'd bet a half a unit on Washington.
What do you think, Tito?
Yeah, I'm with Mr. Sharp here. I think it's the Eagles division to take away. I'll tell you right now, you guys know a couple of years ago I was a big old fan of Brian Daboll and the New York Giants when they made the playoffs that first year. I got a sneaky suspicion they're going to surprise some people with Malik Neighbors at wide receiver, and Jackson Dart. If he can take over the starting reins. I got a really sneaky suspicion that they're going to surprise some people. And Mr. Sharp's right. They're going to be getting a ton of points early, especially. So look to take advantage of those numbers and look to take advantage of maybe getting some points and getting some early wins, betting wise.
And the Commanders also traded Brian Robinson Jr. to San Francisco.
Oh, that happened today?
Just a moment ago.
Wow.
He just got dealt. Breaking news here on Domesticated Gamblers. No Scary Terry, no Brian Robinson Jr. So we'll see what the offense looks like. But yeah, Tito, I agree that the Giants are going to have one of the best front four in football. I mean, this team's going to get after you, so they're going to be a little bit of a problem. I do think the offense will struggle, but I think they'll be able to score enough to cover the spread.
Yep, I know. I just looked at my Action Network picks already for week one. We got a few in. Shawn, I know you and I are both on the Giants getting a touchdown against the Commanders in week one. Love a division dog. Yeah, I think the vibes are a little bit better around the Giants, but yeah, they're not going to win this division. I think the Eagles, it's theirs still to win. I'm not going to bet it at minus 140 though. I just think that tush push not getting outlawed is so massive for them. I still feel like they have an edge there. And I just believe in Sirianni. The dude averages 12 wins per season. So I think this is their division till further notice, even though I'm very high on Jaden Daniels. I do think that I talked about this Terry McLaurin stuff. I think it's going to resolve itself, but we're getting pretty close now. So, and I haven't heard a lot of positive momentum. So, but I do like the Commanders. I think they got a shot to run deep in the playoffs again, but I think this is Philly's division to win.
Yeah, and I did like Dallas, but now we have way too much drama with Jerry Jones. He's coming after Micah's agent now. So I'm staying away from Dallas. I did like their over win total, but not anymore.
Shawn, I'll let you get started on your team. You're the part owner of the Green Bay Packers in the NFC North. They're the second favorite to win the division at plus 250. Lions are the favorite at plus 160. Minnesota plus 300. The Bears down to just plus 500. So I know we're a little nervous. So you're kind of down on most of these teams in the NFC North. Don't really love the overs on their win totals that they beat each other up. But if you had to pick a winner for this division, who do you got? And you think it's worth a bet at all?
Yeah, now you got Jordan Love. He just had surgery on his left thumb. So he's taking second team reps this week. He finally got back to practice. But he's going to be, he was very rusty in the preseason game. He looked really bad. His reads looked bad. I'm not as high on the Packers right now as I was coming into the season, already banged up all the way across the field. I'm not buying Caleb Williams to win the division just yet. I think Minnesota definitely takes a step back with, he's not a rookie, but I'm going to call him a rookie. He's never really played an NFL game, so he's still a rookie to me. So I don't see a rookie coming in and winning this division. So I think there's a little bit of value on the Detroit Lions. I really do. I think some people are overlooking them a little bit now as we get closer to this thing. So I would take a unit on Detroit, and then I would take half a unit on the Packers. If Jordan Love can get going, they got a shot. But it's up to Jordan Love. I mean, this whole team's riding on him. They paid this guy a ton of money after he had one, not even a whole good year, a half of a season. And they paid this guy like he was Patrick Mahomes. So this might be a bad decision by the Green Bay Packers. Now, there are rumors that we're trying to get Micah Parsons.
Oh, my God.
Adam Schefter's reported we've offered 2 first-round picks for him. If we can get Micah Parsons, this is a different story. Then this defense becomes legit, top defense in the NFL, and I think we could win the division. But I would say Detroit right now.
Oh, my God, it'd be incredible. I don't know what to do here, Tito. Do you have a thought on what to do with this division?
Yeah, I'm not sold on Detroit winning the division 2 times in 2 years in a row, especially with that fraud of a quarterback, Jared Goff. So, I you know me, I'm high on the Minnesota Vikings. I'm high on JJ McCarthy. I'm high on the Kevin O'Connell as a play caller. So, and with Justin Jefferson, out wide. So I definitely think the Vikings are good value here, and I'm staying the hell away from Detroit. As Mr. Sharp was going to say, the Detroit Tigers. What a big wolf.
Yeah, this is a pass for me. It's probably the biggest stay away of all the divisions. I really could see. I can make a case for any team to win it, including the Bears. I'm not gonna. I don't believe that case, but the case could be made. If I had to throw a dart, I would say Packers. Just that Lions schedule is just so tough. It's insane. Tito, get a start on the NFC South. I know you love the Atlanta Falcons. They are the second favorite at plus 225 in this division. Buccaneers are odds on at minus 115. Panthers looking frisky at plus 450, and the Saints. I mean, let's not even talk about them. So Tito, what do you got here? I know you love you some Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah, I'm a big old fan of the Atlanta Falcons. I'm a little concerned that Michael Penix hasn't been named the starter. I know they've got Kirk Cousins back there, but I'm a big old fan of Michael Penix, and I think Bijan Robinson is one of the best running backs in the league. That's not saying a whole hell of a lot, and I think Kyle Pitts is going to have a pretty good year. So I'm a big fan of them, and Tampa Bay doesn't do it for me. I mean, what the hell? They're gonna convince the Rays to switch their day game because of a preseason football game. That's got fraud written all over it too, Tampa Bay. And Todd Bowles, you ain't scaring me, Daddy. I have big wolf to you too. So give me Atlanta, give me Michael Penix as a starter. Let's go. And then Arthur Smith, thank God he's gone. Big wolf.
Yeah, I enjoy pain, and that's why I agree with you.
That's where I'm
the
at.
Falcons, oh god, it just the Penix, Bijan Robinson, Drake London, I think is going to have a massive season. I love this offense. Always concerned about an Atlanta defense, but just I believe in Liam Cohen, and I think the loss of him in Tampa Bay as their offensive coordinator. I think Baker Mayfield's going to be a bust this season in fantasy. I really do. Chris Godwin, he's got this weird injury. I'm not sold on the Bucks, so I don't want to bet this because I don't want to just inflict more pain on myself. But the Atlanta Falcons, I think, is who's going to take down this division. I'm assuming you disagree, Shawn.
I like Carolina. I've been talking about them a lot. I got this one in pocket. I think I'm going to put one unit on Carolina, and I think I'm going to put a unit on Tampa Bay. Actually, I think everyone's disrespecting Baker Mayfield. He had one heck of a season last year, boys. I mean, this was MVP numbers. I think this guy's got all the talent in the world. He was number one overall pick. He just had to get out of a shitty situation in Cleveland. And then he went to the Rams, kind of got some momentum, and I think he's found his footing in Tampa Bay. And I think he is a leader of men. Like we talk about that a lot. And I like Tampa Bay, but I also think Carolina is going to be very frisky this year. So it's worth a sprinkle.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be careful with your staking there. I think you might have just misspoke, but you said you'd put a unit on Tampa and on Carolina to win the division.
Unit on Carolina. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, that makes more sense.
Yep.
Let's wrap up with the NFC West. The Niners, after finishing last season, are the favorite here, plus 155. Rammies right behind them at plus 200. Arizona plus 425. Seattle plus 500. So really, the odds makers think this is pretty wide open. I believe in the Niners this year. I think just last season everything went wrong, and I think things like this tend to fall back the other way. I know they're beat up right now in their receiver room. I do think that's going to resolve itself. Christian McCaffrey, I don't know, maybe they're trading for Brian Robinson Jr. Maybe it makes me a little nervous about CMC, but just I trust in Kyle Shanahan. I trust in that culture that team's had over the last 5 years or so. So I'd rather take just the Niners win total over, which I've already bet, but I do think they win the division. Shawn, what do you think here?
I like the Rams. Makes me sick to my stomach, but that's a young defense. They really started playing good football last year. One possession game up in Philly, in the playoffs. They almost took down the champs. And when you look at the offense, they got better. They brought in Devontae Adams to, replace Cooper Kupp. I think Adams is definitely an upgrade there. You got Puka Nacua, who's going to be healthy this year. This offense, I think, is going to be pretty good. Sean McVay knows how to run this offense. Matt Stafford, I'm not worried about him. He's just a vet. I know he's got some back issues, but I think he'll tough it out. And I think there's good value on the Rams here. and San Francisco. I agree, Eric. I think there's a little bit of value, so I wouldn't mind a half a unit on both of those.
Yeah, I can't get there with you on Stafford. I just kind of reading between the tea leaves. I don't think this is just veteran maintenance. I'm worried about him. Tito, where do you fall on this?
Yeah, I'm staying away from this division totally. What a big wolf. I can't stand the Rams, and the fact that Christian McCaffrey, they trade for Brian Robinson, that's got me super worried. So I'm staying away from this division.
All right. Give me your pick, Tito, to win the AFC. Who do you got this year? Do you have the prices in front of you, or do you need me to say the prices?
No, I got the prices in front of me. I like Cincinnati. Again, I think at plus 1100 with you got Joe Burrow and you got the best wide receiver in the game. I know that fraud of a coach is an absolute, he's an absolute fraud. But he'll probably shit his pants in the AFC Championship game and cost Tito some damn money. So I'm going with Cincinnati with the plus 1100.
I really like that price on them. I think that's worth a sprinkle. Joe Burrow, if he gets in the playoffs, no team is going to want to play this guy. So I think it's worth a sprinkle, but I keep saying it. I think it's Buffalo's year. I don't want to bet that at plus 340, though. I don't want to take a favorite, but I'm ready to get my heart ripped out of my body again, Shawn. I'm on the Bills. I think they win the AFC, and I'm sure you disagree. Is it Mahomes for you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to bet against Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. The NFL clearly wants this guy to win. We watch it year in and year out. We watch the referees give him favorite calls every year. Here's how I would bet this. I'd put 1 unit on Kansas City, and then I'm going to put a half a unit on the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think the NFL would like to see that storyline as well. And could I see a tough-nosed Pittsburgh defense go into Arrowhead in the AFC Championship game and get that thing done? Yes, I could. So half a unit on Pittsburgh and 1 unit on Kansas City. Because until they stop cheating for Mahomes, you got to bet him.
Yeah, Chiefs priced up at plus 425, so they're the third favorite. Steelers back at 16-1, so I do not hate that one bit. What do you got in the NFC, Shawn? Who do you think's representing the NFC in the Super Bowl?
Boy, this NFC is wide open this year. This is a tough one. I don't like Philly. I don't think Philly makes it back to back. They've been running deep in the playoffs for a couple years now. Unless you're the Chiefs and you get all these calls, it doesn't really happen like this. You don't ever. Well, the Patriots, they did, but we all know what was going on there with Tom Brady and the calls. We saw those too. It's just insanity. Remember, it's entertainment, folks. That's entertainment the NFL's giving you. Boy, I like Green Bay, Washington, 950, but give me the Los Angeles Rams. I think maybe they get back to the Super Bowl.
God, fuck those guys. No way. No way I'm putting money on them. Tito, what do you got here? I'm intrigued.
Yeah. No, I think I go with another lottery pick here. I'm not going with the damn Rams. And, I'm not a big fan of Nick Sirianni or Sriracha, however you say his last name. So I like Minnesota here. 1100 too. That's another plus, big lottery ticket play. And I think JJ McCarthy is going to be, he's the real deal, I think. So I hope he proves Tito right. And I hope he proves Mr. Sharp wrong.
Listen, I used to do this betting like you guys are. Like I hated Brady and I would never bet on him. But when Mahomes era, it's different. I don't like the guy, but I like winning money more. So sometimes you just have to bet on the guy to win the money. You can't hate him all the time. Win some money off him.
That's why you're Mr. Sharp, and that's why I'm Tito, okay? That's one of the reasons why we do this show, is so everyone gets gets different perspectives, okay? So if you want to win a lot of money, follow Mr. Sharp. If you want to bet with your heart and on your sleeve, you follow Tito, and you never bet on the damn Rams. You never bet on the fraud Chiefs. You never bet you always bet the underdog, Daddy.
Tito loves an underdog story. I'm going to take a kind of an underdog here too. I like the price on the Niners, plus 950. You got a coach that knows how to get to the Super Bowl. Winning it is a different matter, but he knows how to get there at least. And I just want to bet on things breaking right for the Niners. So I do think we're going to get Bills and Niners in the Super Bowl. And I'm taking my Buffalo Bills at plus 600 to get it done. I also think sprinkling the Niners at plus 2,000 to win the Super Bowl. I think that is definitely worth a look. But wasn't Chris Berman for years and years, he would pick the Bills to play the Niners in the Super Bowl.
Every year.
We're finally going to get it this year. I'm taking the Bills over the Niners. Tito, tell us what you got here.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Cincinnati with at plus 2,200 to take care of the Minnesota Vikings, and I don't even know what Super Bowl this is. Big woof, but I'm going with the Cincinnati Bengals to win the Super Bowl.
All right, Mr. Sharp, I know you've been cashing in on Super Bowls over the last, 5 years? I think you've won 5 Super Bowls in a row, something like that, picking the right side. Not predicting who's going to be in it, but once the matchup is set, picking the team to cover. So what do you got here for your Super Bowl?
Yeah, a lot of those been Patrick Mahomes. It makes me sick when he wins it, but when you win a couple $1,000s, it makes it all worth it. Boy, this is tough. I hate doing a Super Bowl pick because there's so many variables, but just for the fans, I'll say Pittsburgh over the Green Bay Packers in the Super Bowl. And that's actually
This fucking guy.
He pulled a Tito. He pulled. Ah!
Aaron Rodgers wins the Super Bowl. He beats Jordan Love in the Super Bowl.
Oh, man, I would love to see that. I'm sure you would love to see that too. All right, real quick, a little college football. Do you guys got anything for week 0? Tito, I know you're a big fan of week 0 in that
What
term.
the fuck? No, that's an absolute ludicrous week 0. Big whoop to that. No, I don't have any plays in college football. Talk to Tito next Wednesday live, and I'll have hot takes about the Mizzou Tigers. I'll have hot takes about the top 24 action next week.
Sean, you got any action week 0?
Yeah, I do. We got a big game here. Texas at Ohio State, week 0. Why don't we call it week 1?
Yeah, this is next weekend. That we want to save that for next week. For our live show. I mean, if you want to give the pick here, feel free. But yeah, we'll talk about it again next week.
Then never mind.
All right. Well, the big game tomorrow is in Ireland with Kansas State and Iowa State, couple of ranked teams. I think the wrong team is favored here. K-State's a 3-point favorite. I actually like Iowa State on the money line at plus 130. I don't get this line. Iowa State finished 10-2 in the regular season last year. They made the Big 12 title game, finished 11-3. They have 14 starters back this season, and that's the second most in the Big 12. I think the reason here is they lost 2 really great wide receivers to the NFL draft, but literally everyone else is back on this offense, including their entire offensive line. I think that's massive in a week 0 game where these teams are still getting up to speed. Iowa State owns Kansas State. They've won and covered 4 out of the last 5, including each of the last 2 years when a lot of these players were around. Kansas State should be good. Their quarterback is back, Avery Johnson. He should be really good. But they were just 8-4 last season. So good, but nothing special. And I trust Matt Campbell, what he's built at Iowa State. This was a really bad program when he took it over, and they've had winning seasons 7 out of the last 8 years. So I like Iowa State on the money line. It's a plus 130 on DraftKings. I actually like their win total even more. You can get over 7.5 wins at plus 115 on DraftKings for Iowa State. That's in pocket for me. And they can lose this game tomorrow. I'd still feel good about that bet. If they win tomorrow, it's just a bonus. Like I made that bet considering this game against Kansas State as a loss. So again, really like Iowa State tomorrow on the money line. That's my action for week 0.
I agree with you, but I don't like that the game's in Ireland. That's that variable there for me as a gambler. I'm staying away.
Yeah. I think part of this is me I want action. Probably if this is a random game in Ames 8 weeks from now, it's probably a pass, but
Right.
Just kind of really breaking down and reading a lot about this matchup. I think Iowa State, this should be at least be a pick, if not Iowa State favored by a point or 2.
And Mr. Sharp's looking at Idaho State at UNLV. The line's 27.5. Give me a break. I'm never laying 27.5. Never. That's against everything in my body says no way. You got Kansas minus 13.5. Heck no, get out of here. I don't like them big lines.
I know you don't like big lines. We'll talk a lot about that as we continue on with our football coverage all season long. And let's get to our best bets brought to you by Pretzel Boys. Get yourself some free pretzels. All you got to do is take a few seconds right now. Drop us a comment on this video with your best bet for the weekend. If you're the first person to comment and your bet cashes, you win a $20 gift card from Pretzel Boys. Get those comments in, because if the first commenter loses their bet, then you can sneak in there and grab the gift card. So
There's been a lot of comments.
Hey man, the Godson's got pretzels for life. I think he said he's been enjoying those Pretzel Boys and putting them to good use. So I am going for a record today, boys, for our best bets. Hit my 5th consecutive best bet last week. That ties the mark that both you guys had here in the last couple months. So I'm going for number 6 here. I am going back to the English Premier League, Tito, where I cashed last week because I want a winner. This is my best sport over the last few years. So we got to wait till Monday afternoon for this. I'm taking Liverpool and Newcastle. Both teams to score an over 2.5 goals in the game. Liverpool's the defending champs. They're reminding me of like the 2000 St. Louis Rams right now. Like, you remember that team? They win the Super Bowl in 99. They come back the next season and like they could not defend for shit. Like, all their games were just bonkers, high scoring. I think that's what we're going to see early on in these Liverpool games while they're getting their defense sorted out. Their 7 preseason games had an average of 4.7 goals per game. Last week in the regular season opener, they won by a final score of 4-2. And now they head to Newcastle, where over the last 2 seasons, Newcastle has scored in 35 of their 38 home games in the EPL. So Newcastle is going to get at least one. Liverpool is dynamite offensively. Last time these two teams met in this stadium, the final score was 3-3. So got a little bit of juice here, not a ton, but I love this play. I want to keep the streak going. My best bet, Liverpool and Newcastle, both teams to score and over 2.5 goals. You can get that at -135 on DraftKings. So going for 6 in a row here. Dr. Prop, you were a loser last week with Josh Bell, but Shawn wasn't here, so I'm still giving you the honors. What do you got for your best bet?
Yeah,
I think
the
I
wheels
won
are
my last
falling off.
bet.
What's that?
I think I won my last bet, though.
You weren't here. I don't think that's accurate. We're going to go with Tito. Tito, Dr. Prop, give us the
Dr.
play.
Prop, the wheels are falling off. I think I've lost like 2 of my last 3 best bets. What a fraud I am with these best bets. Well, I'm not going to go with some obscure reference in Josh Bell, and I'm not going with a square ass play like that just to keep a streak alive. What a big one. When I had 5 in a row, what did I do? I did a parlay, Jack. That's how you do. That's how you bet. That's how you bet on with your heart on your sleeve, Jack. But I'm going to go with a well-known player here. He's got good stats against the starting pitcher he's going up against tonight. I'm going with the Los Angeles Dodger. I'm going with Freddie Freeman over 1.5 total bases at +110. I think that's the smart play here. So I'm going to get this. I'm going to get these prop plays back on track and go with Freddie Freeman over 1.5 total bases at +110.
Love me some Freddie Freeman. Let's sweep the board this week, Mr. Sharp. What do you got for your best bet?
There ain't a whole lot to look at here. You got MLB and then you got soccer. And this time of the year, as Eric knows, he follows me on Action Network. Mr. Sharp kind of shuts it down on the gambling. I'm kind of on a hiatus. I kind of get ready for the NFL season. So I'm not real locked in here, but boy, this is tough. There's just not much on the board. And if you got some preseason garbage, MLB garbage, just a lot of garbage here. The Yankees and the Red Sox, that's interesting.
This guy was complaining. That you didn't go to him for his best, but he didn't have a fucking best bet. What a big whoop, Mr. Sharp.
I'm pretty sure I won my last bet last time I was on, though, but maybe not. I don't know. But I'm pretty sure I did.
Preparation's top notch. It's fantastic.
I think, you know what? We're going to shoot it from the hip here, and we're going to take Iowa State getting 3 in Ireland.
Let's go. Right after he says don't like the Ireland. Let's roll with the Cyclones.
Let's roll with it, baby.
Hey, this is spring training for you. You're going to be locked in about 2 weeks from now. I cannot wait to see Mr. Sharp cook during NFL season. Real quick, home team plays of the week. I'm fading City, Vancouver -1. I just would be stunned if it loses. It could push. But again, I would not go any higher than -140. Vancouver -1 and -140. Shawn, Redbirds tonight, over? I think we're all liking the over, too.
Over 9 tonight. I like it. Yeah. My best bet probably should be Vancouver -1, but I'm going to stick with Iowa State.
Yep. Tito, what you got for home team play of the week?
I think that's going to be the Cardinals and Rays tonight, going over 9 runs.
Yeah, I think we get a high-scoring one here tonight. That is going to do it for our show. Hit the like button, subscribe to the STL Sports Central YouTube channel, and leave us a comment here with your best bet for a chance to win a $20 gift card to Pretzel Boys. And a reminder, starting next week, you can watch Domesticated Gamblers live here on the STL Sports Central YouTube channel. Going to be with you every Wednesday night. We'll be giving picks for Thursday night football every week, including the Mizzou season opener coming up this Thursday. And of course, we'll have picks for college football and the NFL weekend slate all season long, as well as covering our hometown teams from a gambling perspective, as we always do. So make sure to join us, become part of the show. Again, we really do want this to be your show as the viewer, where we're talking gambling with you and not just at you. And I'll read just about anything in the comments. So fire away and we'll read and discuss. So come join us on Wednesday nights. Best way to do it, subscribe to the YouTube channel, turn on notifications so you get notified as soon as any of the great shows here on STL Sports Central go live. So looking forward to being with you guys live on Wednesday. And if you are watching this, do yourself a favor, get a quote from James Carlton with State Farm Insurance. Again, I got an extra $800 in my pocket this year because I made the switch to James for my home and auto policy. So click the link in the YouTube description, go to carltoninsurance.net, or you give them a call at 314-961-4800. Did you have something else to add, Mr. Sharp? It looked like you had something on your mind.
Yeah. How the heck did Missouri Tigers get 5 home games in a row? What is going on with that?
Hey, man, take advantage of this early schedule. They could be, if they beat Kansas, there's a good chance they're ranked. Build some momentum. And you get the Gamecocks coming to town in week 4. That should be a massive game with Lenore Sellers coming to town. So looking forward to talking Mizzou football with you guys next week live here on the STL Sports Central YouTube channel. For Shawn, for Tito, I am Eric. This has been Domesticated Gamblers presented by DraftKings. The crown is yours. Thanks for watching, guys, and we will see you on Wednesday.
Let's cash.